How many people do you need around you to feel comfortable? 2? 5? 10? Maybe you think a team can achieve greatness, but have you tried walking alone? Working on your goals, grinding without distraction. Today, let me teach you something that will help you in this journey. The power of walking alone. I am Thomas Shelby, and tonight, I'll teach you why the lone man is the most dangerous man alive. Listen carefully. This lesson will not be repeated. Every man speaks of greatness. They want the throne, the respect, the empire. But when the silence comes, when the room empties, they break. Because greatness has a cost most men can't afford. And that cost is loneliness. You see, power demands distance. You cannot carry every friend. You cannot explain every choice. If you try, you stay small. But when you step away, when you walk alone, you begin to see the truth. You don't need applause. You don't need understanding. You need control. And control is expensive. It means empty nights, unanswered calls, and the weight of walking without a hand to hold. But that is the currency of leadership. The man who walks alone pays today in solitude, so tomorrow he can stand where no one else can reach. That is why the lonely man is always the powerful man. A man surrounded by noise grows weak. The crowd speaks, he listens. They move, he follows. They laugh, he joins. And soon he becomes one of them. Ordinary, replaceable, silent in his dependence. But solitude? Solitude is a furnace. When you're alone, you confront yourself. You hear your thoughts with no distractions. No voices to drown them out. That's where clarity is born. That's where discipline takes root. You rise before dawn because no one is there to stop you. You sharpen your mind because no one else is thinking for you. You grow harder, colder, unshakable. I learned in the war, when you're alone, you adapt or you die. And in that silence, in that pressure, I found strength no crowd could ever give me. Alone, I became steel. Alone, I became dangerous. That is the gift solitude gives. It builds men into weapons. Most men cling to the crowd because it feels safe. Safety in numbers, they tell themselves. They laugh together, waste time together, fail together. They think belonging makes them strong. But the truth? The crowd is a cage. It doesn't protect you. It keeps you average. In the crowd, you copy their habits. You eat what they eat. You chase what they chase. You believe what they believe. You trade your vision for their approval. And the more you stay, the more invisible you become. But a man who steps away from the herd, he becomes rare. Rare men aren't understood. They're feared. The crowd will mock you, call you arrogant, call you lost. But that's the sign you're breaking free. Remember this. No great empire was built inside the comfort of the crowd. The path to power is walked alone, away from the herd, against the noise. Step away, and you'll see who they really are. When you stop answering every call, when you stop showing up to every table, the truth reveals itself. Friends who vanish were never friends. Family who mocks your silence never wanted you to rise. Distance is the filter. It strips away the noise and shows you who's loyal, who's jealous, and who's feeding on your energy. The ones who disappear, let them. They were only there for comfort, not for war. The ones who whisper behind your back, let them. Their words betray their weakness. I've buried brothers. I've lost friends. And what I learned is this: the fewer voices you have around you, the sharper your own voice becomes. Distance doesn't make you weaker. It makes you free. And freedom is the first step to real power. Walking alone will break you before it builds you. The nights are heavy, the silence is sharp, and the weight of solitude crushes most men. That's why they run back to the crowd, to the noise, to the comfort of weakness. But if you endure the pain, it becomes your forge. Loneliness, grief, betrayal, they harden you. They strip away softness and leave only steel. Every scar you carry is proof that the fire didn't burn you. It forged you. That's why pain is not your enemy. Pain is your blacksmith. And if you let it shape you, you'll come out unbreakable. A man who needs nothing cannot be controlled. That's the law of power. The world feeds on weakness, on men who crave approval, attention, or comfort. They dangle rewards in front of you, and you bend. They threaten to take them away, and you break. But when you walk alone, when you build without begging, something changes. They can't tempt you. They can't scare you. They can't use loneliness as a weapon, because you've already mastered it. And that terrifies them. I've sat across men with money, with soldiers, with influence. They tried to pull strings on me, the way they do with everyone else. But the strings snapped, because I wasn't attached to anything they could offer. And in that moment, they understood. Independence is respect, not requested, not demanded, earned by proving you can stand alone. Walking alone doesn't mean you'll always be alone. It means you're strong enough to walk without a hand to hold, without a voice to guide you. Weak men rush to find company. Strong men prove they don't need it. When you master solitude, allies appear. Not the ones who laugh at your silence. Not the ones who leave when you grow. But the rare few who respect your discipline. And those men, those rare allies, are worth more than 100 followers. Understand this. You don't build an empire by clinging to company. You build it by carving a path alone and letting others decide whether they're strong enough to join you. First you walk alone. Then when you've proven your strength, the right people walk with you. But you never depend on them, because you built your power before they arrived. I've walked into rooms full of enemies, alone, and still they hesitated. Because a man who walks alone doesn't follow rules. He doesn't need approval. He doesn't ask permission. That makes him dangerous. The lone wolf doesn't howl for the pack. He hunts in silence. He chooses his moment. He takes what he wants. That is his code. Independence, patience, precision. Most men crumble without company, but the lone wolf thrives in it. You see, the man who moves without allies is feared more than the man who hides behind an army. Because when you can't be cornered, when you answer to no one, you can strike at any time, and they never see it coming. That's why I built my life on this principle. Better to be a lone wolf with teeth than a sheep surrounded by shepherds. Every empire begins with one man who dares to walk a road no one else will take. Alone, mocked, doubted. That's how legends start. Not with cheers, but with silence. The crowd won't see your vision. They won't understand your sacrifices. They'll laugh while you bleed in the shadows. But one day, when the dust settles, when the walls you built stand tall, they will see, and they will realize you were never lost. You were building a path they couldn't imagine. Legacy belongs to the man who endures the lonely road. The footsteps you take today in silence will become the trail others follow tomorrow. And when they do, they'll whisper your name with respect, with fear, with awe. Remember this: walking alone is not the end. It's the beginning of everything. That is the price of greatness. That is the mark of a legend. So now, you've heard the code. You understand the price. Walking alone is not easy. It will break you, test you, isolate you. But if you endure, it will turn you into something the world cannot touch. One day, they'll see your success and pretend they always believed. They'll follow the path you carved in silence. They'll whisper your name as if it was destiny. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't destiny. It was choice. Your choice to walk where no one else would. So ask yourself now, will you keep hiding in the comfort of the crowd? Or will you step into the silence, endure the solitude, and claim the strength that only walking alone can give? Decide, act, build, and when the world finally notices you, it will already be too late. Because by then, you won't just be a man, you'll be a legend.